yeah, everybody. Oh, yeah. Welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. Hold on, I forgot what I say. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV series I can't do it. Play the theme song one more time. Play it one more time. I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here by Christina Kringle. Welcome back, girl.
Oh my god. Listen, I've just watched Todd Bridges do a musical number and Ed McMahon sing about savory turkey.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
I don't know. I think whatever you say at this point is gonna make me laugh.
Dr. Giggles over there. All right. You ready?
I'm as ready as I can be.
All right. Take a deep breath.
Whatever happens, happens.
Take a deep breath. All right. This is the final one. Think of Flanders.
Ew, okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Now all I can hear in my head is sexy Flanders.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another hot episode of a very special podcast. This is the podcast which talk about all of your favorite TV series from yesteryear and then discuss them over a warm glass of holiday cheer. I'm your boy, Patrick M. Dunn, and as always, I'm joined here by my one-eyed alien gal pal, Kat Halstead, the author. Welcome back, girl. Welcome back to the round table.
All right, I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, I don't know if this will make to the episode, but we got like 5 minutes of us trying to do the intro, and you know what? We'll throw some bloopers in at the end. We'll let you hear them.
Yeah.
You deserve to hear them.
It got weird.
Yeah, Kat started crying. Laughter. Crying laughter.
They were tears of laughter.
Tears of joy.
Okay. Pat did not make me cry because I was sad or he pissed me off.
Yeah,
We're not in that mode.
Yeah, we're having a good night. We're having a good night here, and it's the middle of December. The snow is falling wherever Kat is living. It's probably like 80 degrees where I am. It's a heat wave. I just wore shorts today, flip-flops, wore my Speedo to the beach.
Patrick, you do realize you've just cursed yourself to some kind of cold snap and me to some heat wave?
Probably. It's like opposite year here at 2020. Whatever you think is going to happen is not going to happen.
Exactly.
We hope you all enjoyed our first few Christmas installments. We enjoyed doing them. I hope you enjoy listening to them. I hope you gather around the fireplace with your fam.
Some hot Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, is that a thing? I've seen that. Is that?
That is a thing. I thought we went through this last year.
We did, and I
totally forgot about it until just now.
It's a fever dream in my world.
Yeah, you do you heat up the Dr. Pepper and you put lemon in it or something. It's a southern thing, I think.
I'm a fan of Dr. Pepper. I actually enjoy. I don't really like too many sodas. I just like Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, and Fresca. That's about it.
Yeah.
So I'd probably try it. You know what? How about we do a special bonus ep where I drink a warm Dr. Pepper?
We'll both make a warm Dr. Pepper, because I'm normally I'm a Coca-Cola girl. If they don't have Coca-Cola, I'm gonna go for the Dr. Pepper. If they have 7-Up, that's my thing. I love a good 7-Up. I hate Sprite.
Yeah, not a big Sprite person either.
I like 7-Up.
I'm gonna throw this out there. I couldn't tell you the last time I had 7-Up. I think Bill Clinton was still in office the last time I had 7-Up. That's how long it's been. I don't even think I've seen 7-Up. Where do you buy it?
At the grocery store. It's never on the fountains. It's always if you get a fountain lemon lime, it's either Sprite or the even worse Sierra Mist.
Yeah, what the hell is that all about? I'm not a big fan of the Sierra Mist. It sounds disgusting.
No, I'm a 7-Up girl.
Remember the little Spot, little mascot?
Yes, the little Spot.
Yeah, I used to love him. I had the video game, the Sega Genesis game back in 1994. You had to collect cans. I don't know what the fuck you had to do. I can't remember.
Yeah, I feel like I had like some kind of like 7-Up Christmas ornament or something
Oh yeah,
really random.
yeah. I think I had like a plush toy that I got. It's like an off-brand one though that I got at a carnival.
Yeah, something like random like that. Oh, man, the 80s and 90s were great for like random like promotional swag.
What did the 2000s bring us? A real scary looking Burger King guy.
Oh, God. Ugh. Ugh.
Hold on, what's scarier, the Burger King guy or the like the Duracell battery family? Because I think they're both scary.
I don't think I know the Duracell battery family.
All right, let me get an image. Can I share my screen with you?
Oh, I remember now. It's like I blocked this out.
It kind of looks like it could be CGI animation, but it's really just like guys in rubber masks that moved really good, I guess. And
Yeah.
when you get a chance, when you know what, maybe we'll do it for Commercial Corner. If you actually watch the commercials and you see it like where the characters are moving, it's so scary looking. I just remember. Did you ever have? I know. I think we've talked about this. Did you ever have Channel One TV in your school system, like the Channel One News?
No, we didn't have that.
Okay, I just remember in like maybe 6th or 7th grade was probably the year these commercials were out, and I remember they would come on during Channel One News, and I would just be like horrified at my desk. I'd always put my head down. You know how like some people have like a visceral reaction to like the Crypt Keeper or some other horror movie character like Freddy Krueger or something. People just frightened by the sight of them. That's how I felt about the Duracell battery family. I'm like, where's my Energizer party?
Yeah, no, I just like looking at the images in this Google search, I feel like they're gonna come through my phone and murder me.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of vibe I get. And
yeah, like
in one of the commercials, the grandmother, she's like an old lady, and she actually has an Energizer battery in her back, and it dies. So like, grandma just dies in this commercial.
Oh my God.
You know, it aired during like I don't know. Like Nicktoons. Like grandma's dead.
Okay, now I understand why I'm an Energizer girl, because you get a cute bunny and not creepy people.
You know what? I know they always say no one can stop the copper top, but you know what? I'm going to Energizer, or I'll go to Brand X before I even go to Duracell. Let's be real.
What do I have right here? I have batteries I picked up at the Dollar Tree. They're called E-Circuit.
Yeah, E-Circuit. You know what? I think I have those same exact ones. I recognize the color.
Hey, I got freaking 8 batteries for $1.
Yeah, you know what? You gotta charge those remote controls. You're watching a lot of TV this year. We're in quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, these are also good for the little battery packs on Christmas light things.
Those things. I don't know what they're called.
You guys know what I mean. Like, just the little short strand that you have, like, to put glow in a corner or something, and it's all battery operated.
That's exactly what you need them for. All right. Speaking of Kat trying to keep the corner of her studio apartment glowing, what are we doing today? What hot Christmas-themed television series are we doing? I think for the first time. I don't think we've ever dipped into this world.
We have not dipped into this world. I checked today.
You checked today. You double-checked. You didn't believe me last week. Or the week before. Oh, whatever.
Whatever. No, actually, because I was going through today. The day we're recording this is the day I put up the Turkey Trot playlist on Spotify of all our Thanksgiving themed episodes, because I did one for Halloween. So I was like, I'm just going to do a turkey one, a Thanksgiving one. I was like, well, Turkey Trot. That works.
Ooh, yeah, I like it. So today,
yeah,
I'm excited about today. This is a show that I like. I really enjoy the show. It's fun. It's cute. It was on sometimes, and then it was off the air. Then they came back, and then they had some like direct-to-DVD movies. My friend actually worked on the show for a little period of time, so I might have some inside scoops. Who knows? I probably don't, because I don't remember any of the stories she told me like years ago. What are we doing today?
We're doing the classic animated sitcom Futurama.
Yes, and which episode of Futurama are we doing today?
We are doing the season 6 episode entitled Xmas Story.
It's a season 2 episode, by the way.
Yeah, I said season 2.
Oh, I thought you said 6. So I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, I was like, did I watch the wrong one?
No, we did season 2.
Okay, I thought you said season 6. I'm sorry, fans. You know what? Rewind the tape. I had like a moment of panic. I was like, did I watch the wrong episode?
You're like, I watched the wrong one.
She couldn't have, because we talked about it like earlier in the day.
Yeah, no, it's season 2, episode 8.
All right, so it's called Xmas Story. It aired on December 19th, 1999. It was a Sunday night. And I can tell you exactly where I was on this night. We were seniors in high school, and I was at home, planted on my ass, watching this entire night of television, because I remember everything about this night.
Yeah, I was
No lie.
probably in a very similar situation.
And I probably had school the next day. It was a Monday. I'm trying to think. Senior year, I had my senior year was a joke.
We probably have like a few days before like the actual Christmas break. This is like right before I got that bad flu.
Tell me more. Tell me more about this bad flu. I feel like you get a bad flu like all the time.
This is the year that I got the flu after Christmas, like right before New Year's, because I was sick on New Year's Eve. I remember laying in bed sick watching the final episode of Sunset Beach. So to be fair, there was part of me that thought it was like a fever dream.
I mean, it was, kind of.
I mean, I've watched it since. It wasn't. But like, I remember like I was so like sick, I like passed out on the kitchen floor. Like I just wanted to lay down on the cool linoleum floor in the kitchen. That just sounded like a good idea.
Yeah, on that dirty ass floor.
My dad didn't like it. He was like, "Get the fuck up!"
Yeah, go in the tub. Jesus. Yeah, I'm looking at the calendar for 1999. So December 24th was a Friday, so we probably were in school till Thursday the 23rd, because I always feel like whenever Christmas Eve was on a Friday.
It was either Thursday or Wednesday, you know, because they give you...
I think we went like all the way to the end. Like, I feel like...
I think we did too.
Because I lived in an area where it snowed all the time, so like, you know what, they were like, you know, just in case it snows, you know, we're going to make you go all the way to the 23rd.
Back then, the school district like almost never called a snow day.
Yeah.
The first time they called a snow day in like a good chunk of time was like the next year when we got this random dump of snow, which was like 3 feet high in one night.
Ooh, yeah, I love those. Those were...
And I like remember trying to get to work like 3 blocks away and I couldn't make it.
I remember they used to be like, you know, it's going to snow tonight, like maybe like 6 inches, and you wake up the next morning, there's like 4 feet of snow on the ground. You're like, yeah, how do I get anywhere today?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I think before we get into the world of Futurama, do you want to recreate this night entertainment-wise? Do you want to know what was going on in television?
Bring me back to the heyday. Bring me back to 1999, December.
I'm going to throw this out there. I think this is the hot night of television. Like, not just Fox. I think there's a few other things that I definitely watched. Maybe not this night, but I watched.
You guys know how I feel. He says it's a hot night, and most of the time it's really not.
I mean, I think you're just hard to please. I think you're just very difficult to please. And one of these days, your jaw is going to be on the floor.
I mean, I do have high standards.
You do. That's why I said we're going to do a bonus ep in which you're going to create the perfect night of television. And I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for her to text me and say, hey, I got it. Let's do this.
I'm plotting. I'm pulling it together.
All right. Well, you know what? Maybe in the doldrums right after Jason Bateman January, maybe we'll get to it.
Yeah. We are doing Jason Bateman January. There's too much good stuff to not do Jason Bateman January.
Oh, there is. And we're gonna advertise the hell out of it that we're even gonna get him on there. He's gonna come on. He's gonna give us a soundbite.
If we get Jason Bateman, oh my God, I would die. And then you can replace me with Steven.
Yeah. You know what? No, I'll Ouija board you. I'll just do the whole podcast through Ouija board.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We're going to start off with ABC.
Okay.
Our friends at the Alphabet, who I think were Disney at this point in time, right? They were a Disney venture.
Yes. Disney owns them around 95, I think.
All right. Any guesses what starts off the night? It's a movie. It's 7 o'clock. We start off with a film. And it's probably the biggest movie of 1995. Maybe not the biggest movie, but a big movie in 1995. And I'm going to throw this out there. I've never actually seen this movie. It's a kid's movie.
The Santa Claus?
No, it is Babe.
I have never seen Babe.
I've never seen it either. And I was like looking into this last night. You know what? I don't actually know what this movie's about. So it's all I know is it's about a talking pig.
Yeah, I'm just taking a guess. I'm going to guess the pig dies. I mean, don't animals usually die in these?
No, there's a sequel. There's Babe 2, Pig in the City.
That's right. There was a sequel.
What I found really wild about this movie was that it was written and produced by George Miller, who also created the Mad Max series. So I just think that's wild. Yes. I don't know. It just blows my mind. I always forget that because I saw it said written and produced by George Miller, and I was like, where do I know that name from? And I looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, he's the Mad Max guy. He actually used to be a trauma physician, and he just saw a lot of violence in like the 70s. So he just like, you know what? I just want to get out all of my frustration. So he made the Mad Max movie and just based like it all around the crazy things that he witnessed. So I guess maybe that helped him out, and he mellowed out. He became a mellowed man, and he's like, you know what? Now I just want to make kids movies. I think I'm just going to make a movie about a friendly talking pig and an old man on a farm.
Okay.
All right. So that wasn't on all night at 9 o'clock. You ready for 9 o'clock? This is wild. I used to actually watch this show. Do you remember a show called Snoops?
No.
All right, this is wild. This was a David E. Kelly series.
Okay.
It was only on for 13 episodes. It was it focused around a female-led detective agency, and two of the big names in it, there was a few, but the two that stand out for me are Gina Gershon and Paula Marshall.
Okay.
And hot scoop, Gina Gershon's character from Snoop actually appears in a final season episode of The Practice. Like,
I totally was waiting for like the Practice connection in some way.
and guess what comes on after Snoop's? Guess what's on at 10 o'clock?
The Practice.
Oh yeah, shocker. The aforementioned David E. Kelly series, which eventually gives birth to Boston Legal and stars our boy toy Dylan McDermott as the lead. This series, I looked it up. This series has crossed over with other David E. Kelly shows. Ally McBeal, Boston Public, obviously Boston Legal, and another show, Snoops, and another show called Gideon's Crossing, which was a medical drama starring our boy Andre Brower.
Okay. I kind of vaguely remember him doing a medical show.
Yeah, it was on for a year maybe. I think it made a full season. I don't know. I'm sure it took place in Boston, because they all did, right?
Yeah, probably. Don't they all?
Yeah. Did you watch The Practice? I know, I can't remember if we've ever talked about this or not.
I did not watch The Practice until randomly in the final season during Alan Shore suing them. Like, that's when I started watching. Put it on one night. Like, I just left the TV on after, like, Alias or whatever. And it was on, and James Spader pulled me in. Because you know how much I love the Spader.
Yeah, in the final season, Dylan McDermott, like, just got dropped down to, like, guest star status. He, like, wanted to move on to other things. So I think they brought in William Shatner and James Spader as kind of like, I don't know, replacement. Mm-hmm. And then they had this weird energy, this, like, great chemistry, the two of them. So David E. Kelly must have just been like, hey, let's just like make a show with these two. Like, you know what? And it was a hit. It was on for what, like 6 seasons after that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was a hot hit. And you know what? I hope it comes back. Bring back Boston Legal. Like, you know what? How about like they come out of retirement?
Spader's busy right now with the Blacklist.
They can bring out Denny Crane. Bring out Denny. He comes out of retirement. And then just have like Alan Shore just appear in like an episode here or there.
Just via like a Zoom call.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Have him be in a Zoom call. Like, you know what? Like, I don't think Dylan McDermott's doing anything. How about he joins this practice? Or Lara Flynn Boyle. She was
I never really watched it, I swear. Like,
I never watched it until they did a crossover with Ally McBeal. And then, like, I had to watch it because it was, like, the continuation of the Ally McBeal story. So I had to, like, hop into it to see how this case wrapped up. And then I was like, I kind of like it. So I kind of, like, dipped in and out and for, like, a few months. But I didn't, like, stick with it long term. But I enjoyed it. And I don't think you can find it anywhere, which is a shame. A dirty shame.
I feel like there's a lot of great shows you just can't find.
All right. You ready for our boys at CBS to see what they're up to tonight?
Yeah, what's going on CBS? Let me guess, we're going to start with 60 Minutes.
Tick, 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 yes. Any guesses on the 8 o'clock slot? Any hot guesses? I feel like you can get this if you think about it. I'll give you a minute. We'll play the Jeopardy song.
I mean, there's an answer I want to say, but I feel like it's wrong.
Say it. You're probably right.
I'm probably wrong, but Murder, She Wrote.
No, it's 1999. Murder, She Wrote's been gone for a while.
I know, that's what I said. I'm probably wrong.
Touched by an Angel.
Oh, I always forget that was a Sunday show.
I think pretty much like as soon as Murder, She Wrote like ended, this was on the next fall. Like this was the new Murder, She Wrote. It captured the same audience.
Yeah.
There's like a Venn diagram of the Murder, She Wrote, Touched by an Angel audience, like the original audience, not like the modern day audience that's just into it because they remember it. The original OG audience, like the grandmas, all the hot grandmas out there that are like, I really love Roma Downey. What was she, an angel who comes to Earth and she like brings messages from God?
Yeah, she was like an angel in training, and she had like Della Reese and like the other guy like training her or something.
Yeah, Della Reese, like friend of Red Fox. Like she was like always on like Red Fox things. Mm-hmm. I loved it. You know what? I was gonna say Della Reese needs to do more things, but I'm pretty sure she's dead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she has passed.
Oh, she died recently, like 2017. Aww.
I know that like Roma has done like she's married to Mark Burnett, and they did that like Bible series on like the History Channel or something. Because I remember watching it.
Yeah, I remember that. There's a Touched by an Angel spin-off too. I think we've talked about it before.
Gerald McRaney.
Promised Land. That's what it was called.
Yeah, and it had the boy from My Girl 2.
Austin O'Brien.
Last Action Hero.
Promised Land was on for like 4 seasons. Could you believe that?
That is wild to me. Like, weren't they just, like, traveling around in, like, their little trailer?
It's like Supernatural before Supernatural, if you really sit down and think about it.
Oh my god.
It's like the Winchester Bros. They're just, like, solving, like, holy crimes instead of, like, devils and demons and monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. You ready? You ready for the CBS Sunday night movie at 9 o'clock? This is wild.
What is it?
This is the movie that starred Robert Urich, Meredith Baxter, and our boy Ernie Hudson of Ghostbusters fame. The movie is called Miracle on the 17th Green.
Oh my god.
You ready for the description?
Yes.
All right, this is based on a book written by James Patterson and Peter de Jong, or Zhang, I don't know how to say that last name, but it's about a disillusioned family man who is fired from his ad agency job, and he tries unsuccessfully to find another one. When his childhood golf clubs show up under the Christmas tree mysteriously, they rekindle his old ambition of going on the pro golf tour. He then convinces his spouse that their happiness lies on fulfilling his dream, so he sets out to win the tour while his wife struggles to run a daycare center.
He sounds like a total jackass.
Poor Meredith Baxter. And this is probably like around the time when all these like tough policies and laws and stuff came down on those like home daycares.
It's just after the satanic panic, so there's probably all kinds of like, you can't do this around the kids,
Yeah, yeah, because they were like shutting down daycares like left and right from like 1984 to like 1990. Like Oprah and like Sally Jesse Raphael were like, shut down the daycare, shut them down,
Yeah,
shut them down now. You don't know all the horrible things that are happening underground in your neighbor's basement. There's cults, there's whips, there's chains, there's demonic sacrifices. Oh, I love it. Listen to our Red Wine Mystery Stories episode that my friend Jill Buck does, and sometimes I guest star on the episodes. We do an episode about the Satanic Panic. I think we get into a talk show specifically.
Mm-hmm. You guest star on those episodes? Is that how it goes?
I'm the guest star. She's the lady host. I've promoted her. She's got her 51%. All right. You ready for a hot night at Fox? Probably the wildest night of Fox ever.
I mean, I'm guessing it was like The Simpsons, Futurama, and then that 70s show.
Close. You ready? You ready for the official lineup?
Yeah, tell me what's happening.
All right, things kick off at 7 o'clock with The World's Funniest.
Oh, okay.
Which is probably just if like football ran over, it probably didn't even air this night. Let's be real. Because I feel like I never got to see a full episode of King of the Hill, because I feel like it would be like 7:45 when Fox would come back.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it depended on like how far into the 7:30 slot. Sometimes they wouldn't play King of the Hill, and sometimes they would. But tonight, King of the Hill was supposed to be on. It was the episode Helenium. Do you know this episode, Helenium?
It's got to be like a New Year's Eve kind of thing.
Yeah. Hank is the voice of reason during the holiday season as his friends and neighbors get caught up in millennial fever. I don't think I've seen this episode because it probably got bumped in Boston.
Dude, I gotta go track this down later on the Hulus.
But I definitely know this episode of The Simpsons. Do you know the episode by the title, Grift of the Magi?
Not by the title.
All right, you'll know the description. I know you know this episode. It's about a toy corporation that urges the kids of Springfield to develop the ultimate toy for Christmas, and they all make like a Furby-like creature. It's kind of...
Yes.
And it guest stars Gary Coleman as a security guard in this episode, and he like fights the little Furby. Oh, it's great. It's a good one.
Yes.
I love it. At 8:30, we get our boys at Futurama, and girls, and aliens, and crab things. Crustaceans. We'll get to it. But at 9 o'clock, I'm excited about this hour. This is one of my favorite episodes of The X-Files. I want you to watch this episode.
That was my other guess. That's what I was trying to like put into the lineup in my head, and I couldn't make it work because I always forget that Fox starts at 7, even back then.
If you're gonna watch any episode of The X-Files, it has to be this one.
Is this the Brady Bunch one?
No, well, you have to watch that one too. This one though, whenever it's Christmas time, I always think of this episode. How the Ghosts Stole Christmas. So this is a Christmas-themed episode. It's a bottle episode. It's only got 4 actors in it. It's got Mulder, Scully, and special guest stars Ed Asner and Lily Tomlin as ghosts. And Mulder and Scully, they have to stake out a reputable haunted house, and they're like in the house, and they like meet these ghosts, and it's Ed Asner and Lily Tomlin, and they're just like, I don't know, it's just a wild, hilarious episode of the X-Files. It's just so different, and I don't know. I really want you to watch it. I want you to sit down and watch it, and I don't know. I feel like you'll enjoy it, or you'll really hate it. It's because either way.
Either way, you're probably gonna get a picture of my middle finger.
There'll be no like in the middle. You're not gonna be like it's all right. You're gonna either be like I fucking love this episode, or you're gonna be like I hate it. You ready for NBC? You ready for a hot night at NBC?
Yeah, what was on at NBC?
All right, things kick off at 8:00 with Dateline. Our friends at Dateline. And they probably had like a special on like Nostradamus tonight because it was nearing.
Ooh, no, we're in like Y2K panic, so maybe, yeah.
Well, Nostradamus was like a 1995 to like 1997-ish thing.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden it was just kind of like the script flipped and we started getting other things like, as you said, the Y2K bug and all this stuff. That kind of was like the big hullabaloo. 9:00. We get a movie. We've done it before. We've done it a few Christmases ago. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, I hate that movie.
I can't believe you hate that movie. It just bothers me.
I hate that movie.
You hate it. All right. Added addendum. I got WB data. Tonight.
Ooh.
And this is kind of like a good night at WB because I definitely watched all three of these shows at some point in time.
Okay.
All right. Things kicked off at 7:00 on the WB with Safe Harbor. Do you know Safe Harbor?
Safe Harbor. Ooh. Did this have Dylan Neal?
No, that was
Oh, that was Hyperion Bay.
Yes. I confused the two.
Okay.
For a while. I was mixing up. So Safe Harbor was kind of like a family drama, but it was also a murder mystery. So this had actor Gregory Harrison in it.
Okay.
You may know him from Falcon Crest and Trapper John MD. He played Trapper John's like assistant or whatever.
Okay.
So in this, he plays a sheriff whose wife is dead, murdered actually. She's been murdered. So he now has to raise his rambunctious 3 teenage sons while also solving the murder of his wife. But then there's kind of like a quirkiness to it. It's kind of like Twin Peaksy sort of. So they bring in the grandma to help raise the 3 teenage sons, and take a wild guess who plays the grandma. Just take a guess. Just name an old lady that you know.
Florence Henderson.
No, Rue McClanahan. Our girl, Rue McClanahan.
Oh, well.
That's the only reason I watched this, and I think she was barely in it. It's like how they had Jessica Walter on like the 90210 series from the WB, CW, whatever.
Yeah.
Like she's barely in it, but they had to throw her on there. All right. Following this episode of Safe Harbor at 8:00, we get a special holiday episode of Felicity.
Oh, okay.
This is the one where Felicity gets drunk and her and Noel kiss.
Ooh, scandalous.
And then
scandalous.
Then Felicity goes home and has like steamy dreams about it. I kind of remember this episode. I think this is like before they were together. Maybe I think like we're in like season 2. I think of Felicity.
Oh yeah, this is definitely like before they're together. This is like post haircut. Like, this is when they're gearing up for, like, the Felicity Noel stuff. And then before because they got to get that out of the way before they do the Felicity and what's-his-face then. And then, it gets all messy in the final season with witchcraft and time travel and nonsense.
We you know what? Go back, like, a few episodes. We did a whole fun 2-hour episode about Felicity. It's great. We pretty much did, like, the whole universe of Felicity.
Yeah.
Except we didn't talk about the tipsy holiday kiss, but we didn't have time.
It's okay. Felicity hooks up with Ben on a Thanksgiving a couple years later. It's all good.
You ready to end the night? You ready to end this whole night of television? You ready to end this hot night of TV?
Yeah, I can't even imagine what's after Felicity.
Name a WB show that was like a modest hit. It was on for like maybe 2 or 3 years, and they really tried to push it, but they couldn't quite do it. It's kind of like a quirky drama.
The only one I can think of is Savannah, and I know that's wrong.
No, Jack and Jill, girl. Jack and Jill.
Oh!
This had Amanda Peet, Ivan Sergey, Jamie Presley, Simon Rex, Sarah Paulson. Oh, this is a good one. Didn't
this one get retooled a lot?
Oh, it was like every 6 months they retooled it. So like the original basis of the show, it was Jackie Barrett, and they called her Jack. And then it was a guy with the last name Gillespie, and they called him Jill. So they like flipped the gender roles, Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
They were both like fucked over by their significant others. So they like got an apartment together. they like start to become romantically involved, but there's like all these other obstacles along the way. Then there's like a friend group that's like circled around them. And I think they like kind of made it like a romance drama, but then they threw in all these other people, I think, over time. I watched it maybe for the first season, and then I was just kind of like, they kept retooling it. And
Yeah, like I remember trying to watch it, but then like the next time I was able to like get in, it was like a completely different show, and I was like, wait, what?
they'd even retool it like within a season. So it would be on for like 5 weeks, then it was off for like 6 months, then it would come back in, I don't know, like
Yeah.
late May or something. It was on in the summer, like one of those shows. I don't know, but they kept trying to push it. They kept trying to push it. So that's that night. On a scale out of 1 out of 5 female-led detective agencies, how many female-led detective agencies would you give this night of television? I'm going to give it a 4. I don't know, I'm like really excited about this night. There's a lot of heavy hitters for me.
I'm going to give it a 3. It's just like kind of a basic night. There's not like, okay, one, you got It's a Wonderful Life. It's not that thrilling that it's on all the freaking time. You got a movie about a talking pig. Unless that pig is named Wilbur and friends with a spider, I don't give a damn. You know? Like,
Outside of Babe, I think Snoops and The Practice is a good night of television. Fox was like bangers all night long.
Fox is good. Fox is like hitting it out of the park, but like,
I even think the WB's good.
the WB is interesting. It's not their strongest night. It's not their strongest shows. But like CBS has got this like crazy like jackass husband movie.
But it's a Meredith Baxter classic. You know it's good. You know she acted her little heart out. And it's got Ernie Hudson of Ghostbusters fame in it too, so you know it's good. Come on. It sounds awful, but come on. I feel like you'd be wrapped up into it.
If it pops up on my Hallmark drama, yeah, probably.
All right, well, you know what? I pity you. I am waiting for the Cat 5 night. I'm still waiting.
Cat 5 night probably doesn't exist at this point.
Will we get one before 2020 drops? Will we get one?
I don't know. It depends on how far out we record.
We only got a few more weeks of 2020. And I'm talking about like the actual release of episodes.
Oh.
We got like 3 weeks left, and like the next 2 are movies. So we really only got like one night left.
Actually, I think like the next 3 are movies.
No, we got a TV show in there.
We got one TV show. Okay, the next 4 episodes, there's one TV show and 3 movies.
Yeah, so we really only have one night left. I don't think it's going to be a good night looking at what the show is.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw that out there. We'll have to throw in a bonus ep. Just to get it out. All right, you ready to get into the wild world of Futurama?
Yes.
Now that we've bored you to death.
Wild, amazing world of a show we both really enjoy.
All right. Do you want to do a quick Futurama corner just to kind of like catch people up to speed? Because I feel like this ain't. I don't know how many people know Futurama. I feel like this is it wasn't as big as The Simpsons. It's not as big as like Family Guy or even King of the Hill.
It is a little more niche. You know, like
I feel it's a show that struggled.
It struggled, but it has a fandom.
It really focuses on the development of the characters. It's not like...
Yeah, like the characters grow and change and mature throughout. They're not just like the same thing over and over again. It's not the same stupid joke like you get on Family Guy.
There's a mythology to it, and the show expands upon its universe as the years go on. And there's a lot of like hidden things in the show too, like a lot of Easter eggs, and
yeah,
there's a lot of layers to it. Like you can literally watch the first episode over and over and over and over again, and you'd see things that you've never seen before. Like Nibbler. Spoiler alert.
Aw, Nibbler.
Yes. And it's kind of a show that goes full circle, too.
It literally does go full circle.
There's a beginning, middle, and an end to it. So it's great. And it starts over again. And then there's, like, more episodes after that.
The very basics of Futurama is in the year 1999, Philip J. Fry is a pizza delivery boy, and he goes to deliver a pizza at a cryogenics lab right before midnight, and when he gets there, there's nobody there. So he sits down to eat the pizza, and he ends up falling into one of the chambers, and it gets set for 1,000 years.
And then he's in there for 1,000 years, and it feels like seconds to him, and all of a sudden he wakes up. Everyone he knows is dead. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gone. The world has changed. Like New York is the New York that he knew was underground, and it's like there's like New York now.
There's aliens, there's mutants, there's robots. It's a whole different world.
A big portion of the first few years of the show is the character of Philip J. Fry, who we'll just call Fry because I believe that's what he goes by, is him discovering the world. And we kind of, as he learns things, we learn things.
Yeah.
So we're kind of Fry in this world, so to say.
Yes, we are along with Fry as he is navigating the year 3000 on Earth, and things over the last 1000 years have drastically changed.
And they're continuing to change. And you know what?
Yeah, they're...
Like, I think Fry, even, like, when he comes into the future, I think he makes people better. The people that he teams up with. There are a lot of broken people that he connects with.
There is this innocent humanity to Fry that the others don't have because of the way things have changed over the last 1000 years.
Yeah, they just become oblivious to their world.
They just kind of accept that this is how it is, that you get this microchip put in you and it tells you what your job is going to be. And that's just it. Like, you cannot be anything else.
Their fate has been written for them. This is how Fry ends up working at Planet Express, which is a delivery service, and they deliver things all across the universe. So we don't just get fun adventures of the gang on Earth. We get to go to, like, Jupiter and Neptune and other planets.
There's an episode where Leela, who is voiced by Katie Sagal, they go to a planet and she meets this Cyclops alien guy. And she thinks she has found her, like, mate. Because she's a Cyclops. That alien is actually voiced by Ed O'Neill.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, and there's even, like, a Married with Children-like moment they do, too.
Yeah, they do, like, this little bit where, like, she's got her hair in the bouffant. And they're on the couch, you know, very Alan Peg, and the show is very smart.
Yes, it's very subtle, and a lot of the jokes don't really hit you when you're watching an episode for the first time.
Like, there are things that you don't really click until, like, maybe episode, like, especially if you binge watch it now. That's a thing. You can start to pick up on these little things, and you're like, oh, that's gonna tie in later to that thing that happens that I already know about because I've watched this series before.
Yes, yeah. So the show is created by Matt Groening, who did The Simpsons. He also developed it with David X. Cohen, who is he actually wrote this episode that we're doing tonight. He's one of the big contributors to this episode, and they actually did a lot of the plotting for the series before they ever even pitched the show to Fox.
Yeah.
So they had... Actually, the episode that we're doing tonight, it's a season 2, episode 8. This is one of the earliest storylines that they actually plotted before anything else. Like, they knew that they were going to do this episode at some point. They probably didn't have it written, but they knew that they wanted to have a killer robot Santa.
Yes.
And it's a character that he appears again.
Yeah, he appears a couple more times. This original time, he is voiced by John Goodman, which is actually kind of hilarious to me because now Katie Sagal is on The Connors playing Dan Connor's girlfriend.
Ooh, I like it. I stand. One thing that I want to point out, too, is I was reading an interview with David X. Cohen that came out in 2000. It was actually an interview for Sci-Fi Channel.com or whatever their website is. After this episode had aired, but they were like talking about the next time the evil Santa robot comes back, and he was talking about how he was bummed that he couldn't get John Goodman back, but John Goodman was busy filming a TV show. And I was like, I wonder if this is the year he did Normal Ohio. So I looked it up. It was the year he was doing Normal Ohio.
I've only seen one episode of Normal Ohio, and it is Thanksgiving episode because I found it on YouTube.
You know what? Pre-pod, because I was reading the interview. They're all on YouTube now. You can watch all the episodes on YouTube.
Why did you tell me that? Now I'm not going to sleep tonight.
It's all right. You know what? You can be lulled to stay awake by the common voice of John Goodman.
I mean, because it's almost about that time of year that I watched that Norm Macdonald TV show for their Thanksgiving episode.
A Minute with Stan Hooper.
Yes.
We got to reel ourselves back in. We got a lot to talk about.
Okay, yes.
Would you say there's more to go about I think we got the basic idea of Futurama.
Yeah, so there's Fry, who is like our little transplant from the past, and when he is looking for people He's looking to see if there's anybody he's related to. He finds the professor.
Yep, Farnsworth, Professor Farnsworth.
His distant nephew. I can't even figure it out. It's like so many generations at this point. But he's like the closest thing Fry's got to a relative.
And he's like probably the same age as Mr. Burns is on The Simpsons. He's like old as hell.
Yes.
Like wildly old, but he's like still working, just like Mr. Burns, but he's clearly senile. Like he's clearly lost his mind.
You know, I do kind of wonder if he ever actually had his mind. Because he's kind of, like, the stuff we get into the professor's past, he's kind of like a little crazy.
Do you think he's like Jerry Lewis, like the absent-minded professor or whatever?
No.
I get like Professor Frink vibe, like just like an older Professor Frink. That's the vibe that I get.
Okay.
He even kind of looks like Frinky.
Okay.
I don't know. I gotta do a side by side and just like analyze it again. I don't know. So I don't know. We don't know. Like Frink and Fry could be related in
Maybe
the 1999 time zone. I feel like The Simpsons takes place in our world, in loose quotations, and Futurama, obviously. I mean, but it could be. It's the future. We don't know what the future holds, so it's an enigma.
I mean, Bender does end up in The Simpsons, doesn't he, at some point?
Yeah, there is like a it's not even a Halloween episode. It's like a regular episode, I think, of The Simpsons, and Bender goes back in time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I love me some Bender. Bender's the robot. He's an alcoholic. He's crude. He's rude, and I love him.
Well, he's not an alcoholic because
Yes, he is.
Well, he is, but in this world, robots are fueled by alcohol.
That's true.
Like that's without it,
They can't function.
If actually Bender doesn't drink, then he gets rusty and he grows like a rust beard. It looks like Homer.
It's really freaky, actually.
So he has to drink. And then some of the other fun characters. You already talked about Leela. We got Hermes, who's the Jamaican guy. I don't actually know what he does for Planet Express.
He's a bureaucrat.
I just kind of accept him for who he is. Is he like the
like he just does like all the paperwork?
Is he like the Smithers? Like I don't know what he's supposed to be.
Yeah, he just does like basically all the paperwork.
And then you have Amy, who is the other female.
Yes.
She's like of some Asian descent. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know what she does either. I'm not gonna
lie. She is Chinese. She is an astrophysics student at Mars University, an heiress to the Western Hemisphere of Mars.
Okay, and what does she do at Planet Express?
I can actually not see what she actually does at Planet Express in her little character thing on Wikipedia. Like, there's nothing that says what she does there.
And then we have Dr. Zoidberg, who is like a giant lobster / crab type creature.
Yeah, crustacean.
And I don't know what he does either. I don't have no idea what he does either, except for eats a lot.
And makes people really uncomfortable. He lives in the dumpster behind Planet Express, and he's just the professor's like buddy. He's just there.
Every now and then we get Captain Zap Brannigan, who is kind of like a Captain Kirk type guy. Mm-hmm. And then there's his sidekick Kif, who's like a little green alien guy who appears in a number of episodes.
Yes. I have somewhere, I gotta find it, I have a painting of Kif too.
Ooh, I stand. And that's our main players, I think, right?
Yeah, like...
We don't even get all these people in, like, every episode.
We see Nibbler for a little bit in this episode. He's like this little alien.
He's like a pet
that Leela has.
But he's like the smartest creature in the world, or the universe. Spoiler.
Later on, we find out, spoiler alert, that Nibbler actually, like, pushed Fry into the cryogenic chamber so that he would be there, because Fry would be the only one to defeat the big evil brain.
Yes, which is a major plot line in later episodes.
Yes.
So we're going to go all the way to December of 3000. Normally we go into the Wayback Machine, but not tonight. Tonight we're going to the Forward Machine, the Way Forward Machine.
Where we're going, they don't have any roads.
Yes, we float in the sky. But we start off in the Catskills. The Catskills are still around.
Poconos, or we could be on like Mars for all I know.
No, I have their. Hold on, I took a picture of the screen. It is the Catskills Lodge. Children under 90 admitted free. That's what the sign said.
Oh my gosh. Wait, does that count Fry as under 90 or no?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question to answer. I guess the joke is that in the future people live for a really long time, right? Is that the joke?
Like, Farnsworth is like over 100-something years old. He's like older than Burns.
And the world is populated by aliens too, and they might live longer than people. So.
Yeah, like.
And robots.
Yeah, there's humans, there's aliens, there's mutants, there's robots.
So you know what? I guess they should just say people can get in for free, like humans.
Yeah.
Human beings.
So they're at this ski resort.
Yeah, they're at a lodge, like a little like auditorium type thing. And it's like a night of comedy. It's like a night of comedians. And who's our comedian tonight?
It's not even a night. It's breakfast.
Oh, is it? This is breakfast?
This is their breakfast.
Oh,
yes.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
Breakfast and a show. And to start the show is Conan O'Brien's Head in a Jar. Because, like, a lot of dead famous people have their heads preserved in jars, including George Washington, Al Gore,
Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
This is the way they got celebrities to be on the show to play themselves, because that's a big thing on The Simpsons. And
yeah,
they just knew they can just put the celebrity's head in like a jar. It's a disembodied head, and it talks like as if it's alive. And they even have to like feed it like a fish. They like sprinkle little like fish flakes into it and they eat it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a good way to do the gag. And normally the head like fits in the jar. But for Conan O'Brien, because he has a giant head, like part of his head comes out of the top of the jar, and it's great.
Yes.
He's doing like Y2K jokes.
Yeah, he's doing Y2K jokes like he's on his late night show, and they are failing.
Bender is like the heckler, and he's like, Y2K? He's like, we solved that 800 years ago. And then he starts talking, Conan says a joke about, this is my favorite part of the episode for some reason, the War of 2012, which is great.
Yes.
Referencing the end of the Mayan calendar in like December of 2012 when they anticipated the world to end. But I'm like, you know what? He probably means the second Civil War. Should be starting any day now. Like any moment now. Literally.
Any moment.
Grab your muskets. We're off to war.
By the time this episode airs, we may be in the middle of it.
Yeah, we may be recording from our trenches, getting trench foot. He gets booed off the stage pretty much. They're like, boo! And he's like...
Yeah. Like, these people and creatures in the year 3000 are just not here for Coco.
Yeah. And I love when they're like... they're all walking out. It's like Fry, Bender, Leela, the rest of the gang. They're all walking out of the little comedy club, and Bender's just like, he's like, I don't even know why we went to a comedy show. He's like, comedy's dead. Comedy's been dead as an art form for a long time.
Yeah.
So then, they're up on the slopes. The ski lodge is kind of cool because it's kind of like there's no wires.
The ski lift is all like electromagnetic field type sort of thing.
It's like a hoverboard, and like it still gets stuck though. It still gets stuck, which is great because they're going up, and like Hermes is like, oh man, we're stuck again.
Okay, question. Have you actually ever been skiing?
I have several times. I used to actually ski a lot when I was in like middle school ages, like 5th, 6th, 7th grade. And then I just kind of like tapered away from it.
I have never been skiing.
Oh, okay. So you don't know the struggle of like actually being on a ski lift and then it stops?
I've been on a ski lift once in the summer.
Okay.
So that we could go down the alpine slide.
I was going to say, did you do one of those alpine slides? All right, so... the thing about a ski lift is everyone always falls off them, like when they're getting off. They're really like kind of difficult to get off of if like you've never done it before. It takes forever to get up the mountain anyway. So then like when you got to stop every like 15 seconds because someone fell like getting off the ski lift at the end, they have to stop the ski lift and like it stops. And like sometimes it's like a really bad fall. You're sitting there for like 3 minutes. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You're cutting into my day. There's good powder out there. Good powder. So they have like a fun day skiing, and Leela and Fry going down the hill. Fry's like, oh my god, there's trees coming up. And Leela's like, oh, don't worry. She's like, trees down. And all of a sudden, like the trees are like mechanical. They just like disappear. They just go down.
Yeah.
And then Fry's like, wow, that's like really cool. He's like, what happens if you say trees up? And then like the trees come up like in the middle of them and they just hit all the trees.
Yeah.
Probably right after that is my next favorite sight gag is it's Bender skiing and he's like on a snowboard and he's like off trail and one of the I don't know, ski patrol guys.
It's not even, I think it's just another skier. He's like, dude, you're off the trail. And Bender's like, Whatever, you kiss my son, you get metal ass.
And he goes off a cliff.
Yeah.
We cut over to like a bunch of kids skating on the pond, like the Peanuts Christmas special style. They're playing that same slow, very peaceful music.
Like, there's even, like, a kid who's got, like, the dust up around him.
Yes, yes. And then all of a sudden, you just hear like it's like 15 seconds of the kids ice skating. It's very peaceful and serene. And then all of a sudden, you just see Bender. He comes smashing through the ice, breaks the ice, and all the kids fall on the ice. And you just hear them screaming for help. I don't know why, but I just laughed at that.
I was like, oh, Peanuts reference. Oh, there goes Bender killing them all.
That's pretty much like the opening, right? Like, is there more that I'm missing?
Yeah. Well, then, like, you know, Hermes is on the ski lift, and he sees the professor skiing, and the professor's like, he's going, man. He's doing flips and tricks, and best part is you find out the professor's freaking asleep.
Yep. It closes up on his face, and he's like snoring. It's great. Oh, and then there's the bobsled scene too. So like Hermes, they're at the top of the mountain. It's probably the alpine thing that you went down, but it's in the winter. It's a bobsled thing.
Yeah.
Hermes starts talking about. He's like 1,000 years ago, the legendary Jamaican bobsled team like went down these same trails right here, famously like retelling the plot line behind the actual like 1988 Jamaican bobsled team, but also what movie Cat said the author?
Cool Runnings.
Yes, Cool Runnings, which does it hold up? We'll find out.
Guys, it does.
For some reason, the whole bobsled thing just reminded me of what was it, like a couple of weeks ago? Big Brother 18 star Pauly Calafiore said he was training to be on the next American bobsled team. Did you read that news?
Oh, is that what he said he was training for? I just saw him talk. He was like, no. Bye.
Yeah. You know what? Good for him. Kudos to him. And then there was Lolo.
Oh God.
Then there was Lolo, who was on the second Celebrity Big Brother. She was actually she was actually an Olympian, and she was actually on the American bobsled team.
Yeah. So she is a bobsledder and a track star, and she is known for being a virgin.
Being one of like the very few people who have ever been in like both Winter and Summer Olympics. That's a big deal, though. But
it's a big deal. The thing is about Lolo is she can make the team, and then she like flops.
Yeah. And you know what? She famously flopped on Big Brother Celebrity Edition too.
Oh God, yeah, that was hard to watch. That was bad.
That was a tough season. You know what? It killed. You know what? She killed the Celebrity franchise. Let's be real.
Really?
Let's be real.
I mean, her and the Mooch.
Oh yeah, Kat's boyfriend, the Mooch, Scaramucci.
Why is he my boyfriend? I don't understand this.
It was a joke from like 2 years ago that I don't remember why I said it.
Yeah, I don't think I understood it then either.
Well, I think this is around the time when I was like trying to like say that you should date a doctor, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know what, you should just date Anthony Scaramucci. Like, just go big, like go all the way. Why not?
Oh my God.
All right.
Yes, let me go for a former Trump employee.
Yeah, you know what? That'd be the icing on the cake. That'd be the icing. You know, you'd be like in your hillside mansion right now, probably with the Mooch, talking about his time on Big Brother. Give me secrets. You'll be telling me if he was actually supposed to be on the show or not, or if that like twist was really just a twist or not. I think it's real.
If he just like wandered onto the set one day.
Well, I think he was really supposed to be a contestant on it, and then he realized what it was, and then he was like, "Get me off here!" Yeah. And then they were like, "All right, we'll just say that you are a twist," and they went with it. Yeah, that's my theory.
Yeah, I think he didn't know what he was doing. All
right, we'll save that for another day, though. Yeah. When we do Celebrity Big Brother.
So, you know, they're all having like their little fun skiing and stuff, and then they're back at the lodge, and they're all like sitting out, like drinking their hot cocoa. Amy's like flirting with a guy who broke his wrist, but then she sees a guy in a full body cast and gets like even more turned on.
Yeah, she's like horny for trauma.
Yeah, and then the like professor slides in on his skis, and he's got like a racing bib on and a medal, and then he wakes up, he's like, "What's up?" He's
like, "You guys ready to go skiing?" And they're like, we're leaving."
Yeah, we're like, you know, Fry's like, "You know, this is like great. It's really starting to feel like Christmas." And they're like, "You mean Xmas?" And he's like, "Wait, what?" Like, it's this whole thing. They're like, "Oh, you're saying the archaic form."
All right. Can we have an Xmas corner? Like the word Xmas.
Yes.
Is that a word that bothers you? Are you one of those people that are bothered by the usage of Xmas?
I can be. When you don't have to abbreviate it, but you do, I'm kind of like, really? You're that lazy?
What do you mean? Give me an example of someone being lazy.
So if you are gonna, on your yard, spell out Merry Christmas, but you put Merry Xmas instead, it's like, really?
Okay, all right. That makes sense. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, or like, you're writing out a Christmas card yourself and you're like, Merry Xmas. Like, really, bitch? Really?
I don't know. I do that all the time just because I like to write Xmas. I don't know. I'm like so enthralled in this like usage of Xmas. So I looked into it. So it's actually like this goes back a long time. It's possibly stemming from our letter X is similar to the Greek letter chi or chi. C-H-I, I think they pronounce it chi,
Yeah.
which is the first letter in the Greek word Christos, which translates to Christ in English. There's this common misconception that the word Xmas stems from a secular attempt to remove the religious tradition from Christmas by taking the Christ out of Christmas. Actually, its usage actually goes back to the 11th century when Anglo-Saxon scribes, they would shorten words when they were writing, only because, parchment paper was expensive and hard to come by, so they would save space. So they would write Xmas.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm kind of down with it. I kind of dig it.
I understand it. You know what actually like really kind of makes me mad is the Christina Aguilera fans saying Xtina.
Oh, I love saying Xtina. What about the Christina Aguilera Christmas song Xtina's Xmas? Do you know that, Jim?
I don't think I've heard that one. Is that on her album?
It's like on like a recent one, like one of her more recent Xmas albums.
Oh.
My Xmas usage corner's over. There's a little tidbit I want to throw out there. I was just kind of wondering your take on it, your hot take.
I don't know. Like if you can spell it out and you choose to do Xmas, I'm just gonna think you're lazy.
Ooh, all right. You know what? I'm just gonna start writing it out. I'm just gonna start writing it out, just so I don't pee off the boss.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so we're back at Planet Express.
Yes.
They're talking about Xmas, the holiday that lives in this world in the future. Our future, maybe. Our potential future.
Possibly.
So what happens next?
Okay, so, they decide that they're gonna celebrate Xmas, do it upright. So they're like, let's go get an Xmas tree. And, like, Fry's like, yeah, let's go get that Xmas tree. And they go, and he's like, they're surrounded by palm trees. He's like, this isn't an Xmas tree. It should be like a pine tree. And they're like, those died out like 800 years ago along with the poodles.
Fun goof. There's pine trees all around the ski resort that they're at like 10 minutes earlier.
I know, right? Well, those aren't real though.
I was thinking that, but I don't know. There was snow on it. Well, I guess it could snow. I don't know. It was still funny though. It was just that
I know.
literally in the same episode.
I know. So they get a palm tree and they load it up on top of the spacecraft.
I love that, like, it's an enormous palm tree.
Yeah.
It takes up the whole spaceship.
Like, it's huge.
It's so tall that Amy has to use, like, a jetpack to get to the top of the tree to put the star on it. They only put, like, a few things on it, because, like, you really can't do much with a palm tree, let's be real.
And then, like, the star barely fits. Wrap it up in lights, and that's about it. Yeah, but they're, like, back at the Planet Express offices, and they're decorating, and everything's kind of chill. But Fry is down.
Yeah, his family's dead. His girlfriend's dead. His dog's dead.
The dog waited for him every single day. That one, like, I will bawl my eyes out.
Yeah, I was not ready for that episode, by the way. You know what?
Oh, my God.
It's like the dog dies on Turner and Hooch, and Fry's dead dog on Futurama. It bums me out.
So, Fry is down because he's realizing he's pretty much all alone in the world. Yes, he has these new friends. Yes, he has his very distant nephew, but it's not the same. But the thing is, Fry's not the only one who's lonely. We also have Leela, who at this point is an orphan. She has no other family in the world. She thinks she is the only one of her kind out there. She thinks she's from another planet. She is the only surviving Cyclops alien from this planet. She does not yet know that she is a mutant whose parents live underground in old New York.
Yes, it's something that comes up like a few seasons down the line. But at this point in time,
Yeah.
she thinks she's an alien from another world. and she's the last Cyclops alive. And she's kind of like her and Fry are sitting next to each other. They're both being like sad sacks.
Yeah.
They're just both being really like sad sacky about it. But like all of a sudden Fry's like, oh my God, Leela. He's like, can't you see that I'm struggling? Can't you see that I'm miserable right now? And she gets pissed.
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck? And she storms out of there. She like, I think it's like a few minutes before Fry even picks up on it that she's upset.
Yeah, like Fry doesn't pick up on it. He's still throwing himself a pity party. Leela has gone to her locker where she keeps her photo album.
Oh, yeah.
All the sad moments of her life. And of course the book says like happiest memories or some crap like that.
Yeah, it's like treasured memories.
You know, where she went to prom alone and, you know, she did like the spelling bee and nobody was there with her. Like found at the orphanage on the doorstep. Like sad stuff. Like reminding us, the audience, that Leela's also alone in the world. That's why Leela and Fry work so well together as friends and more.
Is this one of the first episodes where they start exploring them as an item? Or does it come up before?
I can't remember really, but this is definitely early on because, you know, I don't think Fry goes to get a present for anybody else.
No.
Once it's pointed out to Fry that Leela is totally alone, she has nobody, she has never really had anybody, then he's like, oh, I gotta go get her a present. And they're like, okay, but you just gotta be back before dark. And he's like, why? They're like, because that's when Santa comes. And he's like,
yeah, he's like, I love Santa. He's great. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's like, okay, Santa's cool. They're like, no. In the year 800.
Not 800.
What was it?
You said the year 800.
Oh, no, 2800, sorry. Yeah, some, like, toy company made a Santa robot and made it so that he could tell who was naughty and nice, but, he's a vengeful son of a bitch.
I guess there was a programming era, so this Santa robot had a very judgy system.
Okay, so, like, you know how I have high standards? My standards are nowhere near as high as this damn robot Santa's.
So what I was reading, though, the idea of this killer robot is allegedly based on the 1984 slasher film Silent Night, Deadly Night, about a man who, for some reason, believes that he's Santa Claus and he begins killing people that he deems naughty.
I see it.
Inspired by that idea, they're like, hey, let's do a slasher movie, but have it take place around Christmas time, but we're going to call it Xmas. So there's like a lot of things going against Christmas in this episode, which is great. And like at the time when they were making the episode, the people behind the show, they had actually thought, like, they didn't think that it would be controversial, but like when like Fox saw the episode, they're like, whoa, like
Fox is like, bitches, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? We can't air this. You can't do this. And like, okay, considering the setup of the show, this completely makes sense to me that this could be a thing.
Yeah.
Like, it works for Futurama. It wasn't going to work on like an episode of Beverly Hills 90210 or something, you know?
So any other time that Futurama did a Killer Robot Santa episode, they always made sure this episode of Futurama aired like later on in the night, like maybe at 9:30 or something, instead of like 8:30, like this episode aired. So they adjusted the time slot for future installments of The Killer Robot.
Yeah. But like, Fry doesn't totally buy it. Like, Fry kind of doesn't care. He wants to go get Leela a present, so he goes to like the mall type place. The guy, he's telling the guy that, there's this girl and she's mad at me and I want to get her something for Christmas. And he's like, okay, so the suicide booths are by the food court. And Fry's like, no, not that. I want to get her a gift. And the guy's like, oh, okay, well, here's this, like, machine gun to kill the robot Santa.
It's like a rocket launcher, subatomic gun, which knowing Leela, she's a fighter.
She would have been down.
Yeah, she would have liked that. But Fry's like, no, like, how about this? And he sees like a pet parrot, like a caged parrot, and he's like, I like that.
He goes to another store for the parrot.
Oh.
And he's torn between the parrot and 500 lizards.
He can get one parrot for $500, or he can get 500 lizards at $1 each for $500. And he's like, oh, but
$500 for a parrot is fucking cheap.
yeah, I mean, this is the future. Maybe the currency of money went backwards. Who knows?
Like, I don't know. All I know is, okay, there is a woman at work who really likes birds. And she had a bunch of birds, including a parrot and some parakeets, and she recently accidentally kind of murdered them.
What?
Okay, so she, like, used the self-cleaning feature on her oven, and, like, the fumes from that, like, took out all her birds. She told me about it. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, and then, like, she walked away, and I'm just like, OMG. And my boss calls me over. She goes, did she tell you how she murdered the birds?
Does she have, like, an aviary?
No, she's just, like, this older woman. She's, like, late 50s, early 60s, lives alone.
Oh.
Instead of cats, she has birds.
You know what?
Well, she had birds.
Like, I feel like it's unsafe for even humans to be in the house when the self-cleaning feature's on in an oven. Never mind, like an animal.
Yes. Like, the thing is, like, the self-cleaning feature just, like, goes really hot.
No, but there's stuff in the oven that are being burned off, and I can't imagine it being...
That's true. Like, that's why when I've had a self-cleaning oven, you open all the windows, open the deck door, you air the place out while it's doing it.
Yeah, you don't want to end up on the news for like killing a whole host of birds.
Yeah,
of exotic birds. Is she like the Joe Exotic of birds?
I just felt that she's like, yeah, then I had to like run out my parakeets so that I could sleep at night because I need to have the birds around me to sleep. And I'm like, oh my god, what am I hearing? She's a really sweet lady. But she's a little wacky.
You didn't paint her in a good light in that short story. All right. So
I swear she's really sweet. She really is sweet.
So Fry ends up buying the bird. He's gonna take the bird to Leela. He's like, oh, Leela's gonna love this. And he's like walking back to Planet Express. It's like starting to get dark, but it's not quite dark yet.
It's like 4:24 in the afternoon.
I mean, it's Christmas. It's gonna get dark. It's like December 24th. It's gonna be dark any minute now. Literally.
That's true.
The bird won't stop squawking. By the way, Frank Welker does the squawk of the bird, and I guess they did like hundreds of takes on it. Every take was just like too annoying.
Oh my god.
So they couldn't like decide on the best. So they just did a bunch of them like in a row. That's why the bird just keeps squawking.
Yeah.
Somehow the bird gets out of the cage and it just flies away. He just takes off immediately.
My favorite part of that is that Fry goes, I know where you live, while he's shaking the cage.
Yeah, because he assumed the bird was going to come back to the cage at some point.
I mean, to be fair, it might. You never know.
Fry goes on the hunt for the bird, and like it's like right around this time, Leela comes back from her like little like sulken phase. She feels better. She just had to go out and have a cry.
Yeah, she just had to have a good like Christmas cry.
Yep, her annual Christmas cry.
Everybody has to have the good Christmas cry. Don't tell me you don't, Patrick, because I know you do.
Can't recall, but we'll see. I'll let you know this year.
Okay, I'm gonna get like the most random text, like I had my Christmas cry. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Hashtag Christmas cry. Tell us your Christmas cry with hashtag Christmas cry. We're dying to know. All right, so Leela comes back from her Christmas cry, and she's kind of like looking around. She's like, "Where's Fry? Like everyone's here but Fry." And they're like, "Oh, he went out to buy you a present or whatever." And she's like, "At this hour, it's gonna be like sundown any minute now." Like, so she goes out to like find him.
She's like, Santa Claus is gonna be here. What the fuck?
I love how she like immediately finds Fry too, like on the top of the Empire State Building or whatever that is.
Yes, on top of this like giant building that has like a digital clock, but like when the time is on it, you can actually like grab onto them like they were clock hands because Fry is falling off the building because he followed the bird up there.
Yeah, so he like chases the bird up to like a ledge. It's like that bird on a ledge kind of thing going on. And he thinks he's cornered the bird because he's at the end of the ledge. And he's like, you have nowhere else to go. So he like reaches down to grab him. The bird flies off and he like slips. Thinks he grabs onto like the clock hand, but it's like the second hand of the digital clock. And it's like 3D.
Yeah.
So like the numbers change. And it's like actually really clever because it starts off with like a 2 and then it's a 3, a 4, a 5. And like where he's holding on to It actually like keeps him up there for a few moments.
Yeah, for like the 2 and the 3, he's up there. When it switches to the 4, he starts to fall, but he's able to grab onto the center part of the floor for the 5 and the 6, and then it drops to 7,
Yes.
and he starts falling, and then Leela catches him from like a window, a floor below.
So, question: did Leela go to the top of this building to like look around the city for Fry? Like what? Like, does she have like a good eye? Is that like a real good eye?
I want to say there's a tracker in Fry.
Oh well, there is the work tracker.
Or no, they took the trackers out, didn't they?
I feel like Fry is a liability.
She probably put one back in Fry. Leela probably put one back in Fry, like that she just has access to.
Like she's single white female for him.
Sneaking into his and Bender's apartment, like, click.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So as soon as Leela and Fry link back up, they bump into Santa. He's like a giant robot. I don't know. He's probably what, like 20 feet tall. He's like a tall man.
Like, he is like the kind of thing you would find in the middle of a mall display, you know, like one of those like big malls, like Mall of America type thing, where they have like the 4 levels, and they like put some giant thing in the middle as a display. Like, that's what this guy is.
Yeah, I'm picturing like Optimus Prime, Transformers, like sized.
Yes.
He sees Fry, he sees Leela, tells them that they're naughty for whatever crimes they've committed this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a chase. We get this like fun 2-minute chase scene. And I want to point out too, the killer robot Santa, he doesn't come into this episode to like the 3rd act. So like a good like I would say 15 minutes has already like elapsed in this episode, like a good amount of time.
Yeah, like
if you went into this episode not knowing that it was going to be about a crazy killer robot Santa, it would throw you for a loop. You'd be like, what?
yes.
I'm sure this is how they advertised it. You know what? This is your first time ever watching Futurama. You're binging it on Hulu or whatever, and you're just watching them all the way through. And this episode pops up. You're going to be like, whoa, this took a crazy turn.
Yes, this is like, whoa, what is happening?
Because while all this is going on, because we kind of get into the side plot with Bender, because it kind of ties into the rest of the episode. So Bender, you know, he's got a scheming heart. He's always like wheeling and dealing, doing some crazy illegal plot. So he decides that he doesn't want to drink all his alcohol at home. He wants to go down to the local like soup kitchen, but it's like an alcohol kitchen for poor robots.
Yeah, it's like robot alcohol shelter.
And it's basically like a soup kitchen. There's like the big pot with a ladle, and they're like pouring the alcohol.
And the bowls.
And they got like a little, instead of Tiny Tim, it's Tinny Tim. It's like a little tiny robot with like...
This little like Tiny Tim type robot who does the whole like David Copperfield.
I'm an orphan. I need booze.
Please, sir, may I have some more? And the like Reverend robot dude's like, nope, sorry, we're out.
I think he gets like a little like thimble-sized cup at first.
Yeah, like he gets just a little bit. It's like, that's all I got. Tiny Tot, whatever his name is.
It's Tinny Tim.
Tinny Tim.
Tinny Tim. He's in other episodes too. Like he becomes like a recurring character.
Well, like so does the robot Reverend dude.
Tiny Tim in the traditional Christmas Carol, I don't know, what's he got, like a bum leg? He's got like Forrest Gump leg, and he has he's got like one crutch.
Yeah.
Instead, Tiny Tim has a crutch for one leg. Like one of his legs is the crutch, and it's great. It's not like, you know what, they could just like make a new leg out of whatever his other leg's made out of. They just throw a crutch on it, which is just like a good sight gag. And then he has one of those like old English like little boy hats on too.
Yes, it's like the whole little band of homeless bum robots.
Oh, it's a great sight gag.
Because Bender, he's there with them. He's like scruffed himself up. And he convinces them to go caroling so they can go rob people.
Yeah. So, like, they go to this lady's house. They, like, knock on the door. They just start singing a Christmas song. Or, I'm sorry, an Xmas song.
Yeah.
And then they stop. And then she's like, well, thank you. And he's like, oh, can we come in and have a glass of your finest scotch?
Yeah, like just a sip of sherry or something. And she's like, oh, no. They're like, oh, come on, just a sip. And she, like, gives in. And you could tell they're glugging down that whole bottle.
Yeah, she's like, all right, fine, just one drink. And you see them go in the house and the door closes. We don't actually go inside the house with them. We just see the shot from outside, like the scene doesn't change. And you just hear like numerous bottles opening up and like glugging and stuff. Then they like come running out. And then they like stole stuff from her too.
Yeah, they stole like her wedding picture and like a shoe rack and a slipper. Like,
There's like a slipper hanging off the shoe rack too.
there's nothing. Like, they didn't really steal anything of value.
So then they just become this like Roman gang of robots that are just like roaming through New York in the middle of the night. And apparently they've all forgotten about Killer Santa.
They're drunk. They don't care. They've got their little scheme going.
They literally run around the corner, and that's when they bump into Leela and Fry, like running from Killer Robot Santa. So they all kind of like get together. Killer Robot Santa
Yes.
like deems Bender naughty. So then
I mean, is that not the most accurate description of Bender, though? Like, if anybody is going to be naughty, it's going to be Bender.
Santa's gonna like shoot him with like some like ray gun thing, but he has to like warm it up. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
I gotta turn it on. And he's like turning on his gun. And then they're all like just standing there for like a good like 10 seconds. And then they're like, wait, why don't we just run? So they just like one by one, they all run away.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fry just is still standing there for a good like 10 seconds though.
Yeah, they like have to go grab Fry, because like I think this is such a like abnormal event to Fry. Like, he's processing it, he's processing it with his 1999 mind. He's not at the same like mental level that they are in 3000. Like, that comes up later in the series. Like, there's a difference in mental processing.
And then there's this like big chase through the city. They end up back at Planet Express. He like comes down the chimney, and there's this like giant like Professor Farnsworth is like, quick, he's like, roll the impenetrable cog in front of the fireplace. So they're trying to do it, but it's too heavy. No one's helping Fry and Leela do it. Like, you think they'd all run over there and do it, but it's just Fry and Leela.
But it's just Fry and Leela move it. They get it. They're close. But Santa sticks like a gigantic candy cane and pushes it open with his robotic killer strength.
Yeah, so he comes, now he's in the now he's like in the Planet Express like auditorium. He's like flying around the room on his reindeer. The reindeer are like robots too, and they like flames come out of their mouth. He has some like Christmas bomb thing that he's gonna kill them all.
They're all naughty except for Zoidberg.
Hello, Zoidberg. You've been actually nice this year.
You've actually been nice. Here's a pogo stick. And Zoidberg's like, oh, yay! And he starts pogoing around. And they're also like running from like evil naughty Santa, killer robot Santa, and then Zoidberg with his claw clips the Christmas lights, which are plugged in. So like when the live wire goes down, it hits Robot Santa and electrocutes him enough that he's like, they can overpower him and get him out.
Robot Santa has that like Christmas ornament bomb that he's gonna let off. So that's when they like push him back into the fireplace. They finally close the cog.
The robots all work to get the cog in place.
And then the bomb explodes off, and we get this like aerial shot of Robot Santa come like flying out of the out of the building, and then he's just like, "I'll get you next." It's like very Inspector Gadget, Dr. Claw. Like he's like, "I'll get you next time,
Yeah.
when you least suspect it, next Christmas." And he just takes off. They all kind of get together, and they're gonna have a Christmas meal. And
Yes.
Bender's like, "Oh, I whipped up a nice Christmas bird." And he like pulls off the little platter top, and it's Fry's dead bird from earlier in the episode.
It's the dead parrot.
Yeah, because the parrot got away but was killed by Santa.
Yeah.
Santa's rocket. Yeah, spoiler alert, sorry. Then Tinny Tim was like really hungry, and he's like about to eat it, and then Nibbler comes along and eats it.
Yeah, like, Bender's like, you get the toenail. And, like, Nibbler comes and eats, like, the whole bird that's still on the plate before Bender can even give it to anybody, and then he grabs, like, the piece on. Because that's what Nibbler does. Nibbler just, like, gobbles everything down.
But there is a funny line, though, where Bender's like, you know what, it's not about the food. The food's not important. And Tinny Tim's like, but I was hungry.
Like, you're a fucking robot.
I know. Wasn't it established that they don't eat?
They don't. Like, okay, because, like, when Bender... when Fry's trying to actually, like, find an apartment to live in, like, Bender's like, oh, you can come live with me, and Bender, like, has, like, this little tiny closet thing, not realizing he has a whole fucking apartment behind it. Like, he thinks he just has, like, this little tiny closet that's perfect.
And because then Fry wants to move into it. Fry's like, can I just move into this room? And he's like, why would you want to live in my closet? And I think that's Christmas with our gang from the future, right?
Yes, that is a Futurama Xmas story.
Missing any,
No, I think we got it all. Like, their Christmas carols are a little different.
They're all about Santa Claus is coming to get you. He's coming to town to get you.
Yeah, he's gonna come kill you.
And Fry knows the lyrics like very quickly all of a sudden when they're singing at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about, but you know what? That's how TV works.
I mean, it's the magic of a cartoon.
Not just a cartoon, it's how TV works.
Yeah, it's just how TV works. Like, everybody knows the lyrics to, like, whatever song's about to be sung.
It's like drunk Bradley Cooper goes to the bar and sees Lady Gaga sing Shallows, and then he remembers the song in full lyrics 5 years later, and he calls her out on stage.
It's not that long. It's not 5 years later.
Some point in time, a good significant amount of time later, he remembers all the lyrics.
Well, yes, he does remember the lyrics, but it's like 3 days later.
I mean, if you were Bradley Cooper blackout drunk at a bar and you saw a woman, not even a woman, just a random person singing a song, 3 days later, would you remember the lyrics?
No.
Exactly.
There are things I don't remember from being blackout drunk back in the day.
But you know what?
I will never remember them, and they are probably not song lyrics.
I'm sure that Bradley Cooper is a pro at this. You know what? Maybe he had his the recorder memo app on his phone was recording. Maybe that's what he does. He records himself and he listens to it the next day to see all the horrible things that he did. And he's like, "Oh, what's this song?"
I'm not gonna lie, "Shallow" comes on the radio, and I blast it. It's like up there with "Can't Fight the."
It is a banger.
"Can't Fight the Moonlight."
"Can't Fight the Moonlight." That's from Coyote Ugly, right?
Leon rhymes.
You mean it wasn't Piper Perabo that sings it on the radio?
No, it wasn't.
Shout out to Covert Affairs, formerly on USA, also starring Sandy Cohen. I have a very important question.
Okay.
On a hot scale, out of 1 out of 5 extinct pine trees, how many extinct pine trees would you give this episode of Futurama?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Oh my god. Hold on.
I knew you weren't gonna, believe it. You were shook.
Are you ready for my answer? I'm gonna have a controversial answer.
Oh god.
I love Futurama. It's a great series. However, I don't think this is that good of an episode of Futurama. I think there's better episodes of Futurama.
I mean, there are definitely better episodes of Futurama, but I found this enjoyable.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Okay, wow. Then again, I'm the one staring at Bender painting.
I thought there was more Killer Robot Santa in this. I kind of wanted more Killer Robot Santa. I thought it was like a big chunk of the episode.
There are other Christmas episodes, so that's probably where you got muddled in your brain.
Yeah, because I feel like we get more into the lore of it, and we get into, and then I don't know. So I kind of thought that's what we were getting in this episode, and I thought the setup. I mean, I enjoyed the episode as a whole, but each segment, like the Catskill segment on the ski lodge, I really enjoyed. I loved it. I don't know. There was just kind of like a middle part that just kind of dragged to me. And then I got excited at the end. And you know what? I kind of wish that they kept that momentum going. I don't know.
See, this felt very think about it, you build Christmas up in your head a lot of the time. Oh, it's going to be this great day. And then kind of sucks. That was very, real.
Yeah. That is true. I mean, the jokes landed in this episode. I just thought the storyline wasn't great. And then, you know what? I kind of remember that from a lot of the early, especially the first 2 seasons of Futurama are very hit or miss, I think. There's a lot of duds, I think, in it.
I think there was a lot of world building going on.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, they had plotted so much. To get there, you have to, put in the layers.
Yeah, and I think we're still at a point where we're still character building and world building. We haven't really got to the real meat and bones of the show yet. And I don't know, I kind of dug elements from this episode, but I just think overall as a storyline, I'm just even though for the last 2 hours I was like, this was a great episode, I love this show.
And then you're like, it's a 2.5.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm 4. 4.
I'm going to throw this out there. I probably never want to watch this episode of Futurama again. If they ever do like a rewatch, I'll probably skip this one. Not going to lie.
You'll probably skip it? Oh, wow.
I don't know, but it won't stop me from doing another Killer Robot Santa episode next year. Isn't there one where they team up where Fry and
Yeah, there's like 2 more. There's like 2 more.
Yeah, and they're not voiced by John Goodman after this episode. It's John DiMaggio does it.
Yeah.
That's my hot take on it. I knew you'd be upset, but part of it also was maybe this is like a revenge vote.
A revenge vote? For what?
I don't know. Like all the things that I thought you were going to love, and you're like, yeah, I gave it a 2.
You're gonna love this, and I'm like 3.5.
I'm at the point now where if you say like 3, I'm like, okay, all right, that's
okay. Yeah. Why is it not higher?
One thing I want to point out, going back to the opening credits, the tagline for the episode, which changes every week, it said based on a true story.
Yes.
And then the cartoon featured in the opening credits, they always show like the billboard with the cartoon playing for a few seconds, and it changes every week.
Yeah.
This week it was 1942's Fresh Hair, which was a Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd short, which took place in the Canadian wilderness. And this one, Elmer Fudd is a Canadian Mountie who's on the trail of Bugs Bunny, who is either wanted dead or alive, but preferably dead. This was also the final appearance of an early Elmer Fudd design in which he's overweight. Do you remember like the original Elmer Fudd where he's just like a heavier guy?
I just kind of feel like Elmer Fudd's this short, plump dude, like, no matter what. But then I'm sitting here like, what is Bugs Bunny's crime?
Being a jerk. I don't know. Maybe he stole a bunch of carrots. I don't know. Who knows? You know you've seen like the old Elmer Fudd design, like where he's like a heavier guy.
Like that's how I think of him. I don't think of him as like some Slim Jim.
Google heavy Elmer Fudd. I just need you to look at it right now.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's only a few of these, and I just remember when I would watch these when I was little, and these ones would come on. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, that's not really Elmer Fudd. He like kind of sounds a little different too.
Would not consider this Elmer Fudd if I like was sitting around watching a bunch of Looney Tune cartoons and this popped up.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like they redesigned the character.
I'm actually really uncomfortable. I have to like close this page now.
I'm excited about next week. I'm super excited about next week.
I'm super, super excited about next week.
We're doing a movie. I think we kind of teased it earlier in the episode. It's a Christmas movie, of course, and I was thinking about this earlier today when I was driving home from work. Is this a movie that people like younger people know today? Because I feel like you get movies like Hocus Pocus that are just kind of like reintroduced to younger generations. But the movie that we're doing next week, is this something that people pass along to their kids?
I'm going to guess that if I were to ask the people that I work with who knows this movie, the people who know it are like our age. Like 30s and above. I feel like the 20-year-olds and younger, like the 20-year-olds and late teens, they're like, what? Though I did have a 40-something-year-old man the other day ask what Ferris Bueller was.
Whoa, that was creepy. So the movie that we're doing next week is Scrooged. It's kind of I was going to call it a modern day take on the Christmas Carol, but it's like a 40-year-old movie now, almost.
Whoa, not age us that much, dude. It's like a 30-year-old movie.
It's 32 years old. It's a 32-year-old movie.
Okay.
Well, I said an almost 40-year-old movie.
Oh my god.
This is a movie that was always on TNT, like around Christmas time. And then it just kind of like disappeared. Like maybe early 2000s, it just went away. Like he just vanished. Maybe it's on like AMC. Maybe it's on...
No, I think AMC airs that.
I don't think many people are watching movies on AMC these days. It's not where you go to watch movies.
I mean, I don't think AMC airs that many movies. Like, I feel like they had their last gasp when they were always airing like Pretty in Pink and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing like Predator 2 on AMC. And I was like, why is Predator 2 on AMC? Why is that the American movie classic?
Yeah, I just know that I have this on DVD because I love it that much.
And I don't, so I'll have to figure it out how to watch it. All right, so join us next week when we watch Scrooged. It's a movie that I haven't seen in I want to say, over 20 years. So I'm curious.
You haven't seen it in that long?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen this.
I watch this every freaking year.
It's not on my rewatch list. I loved it. I think I just saw it so many times, like between 1988 and like 1996, that I like saw it enough.
Oh my god. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the messages I get from you on this.
Unless the Civil War is going on and we don't get a chance to do this.
We will get this done. I have nothing but time right now, dude. Nothing but time.
All right, so join us next week when we go into the wild ass world of Scrooge, starring Bill Murray. By the way, Bill Murray.
And
yes,
Bobcat.
Yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait. Who knows where he is now? No one knows. Like, he's on a milk carton. Is that a thing? Do they still do that?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, you know what? We have a few days to solve the mystery of where Bobcat Goldthwait is. So we'll figure it out by the time we do the episode. So stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. Where can you follow our fun-ass adventures? Where can you follow us?
You can follow us on Twitter at VeryPodcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr at A Very Special Podcast. Do not accept imitations. You can find us pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. You have found us somehow. So subscribe, follow us, interact with us. We interact back. We really do.
Unless you're a weird, creepy actor that's trying to make us watch all his movies, then we might not.
Yeah, like, don't DM us a list of the 13 movies you're in, because that's just weird.
With links to where you can watch them for free.
Yeah, like that. This is literally a DM we got, and it was creepy.
Yeah. The only thing that caught my attention was that you were in a movie with Blake Lively, so that caught my eye. So, friend of the show, Blake Lively.
And then, of course, we have a Patreon. So if you really enjoy us, you can check us out there and maybe join one of the different many levels that we have available.
We get into a lot on the Patreon. We have bonus eps of our older episodes that we never released. We do commercials. We talk about commercials. We talk about movies a lot. We do a lot of movies there. And then we're even going to throw out some bonus things out at you in the world. Like, what was it? Bart Simpson versus Randy Taylor. Who's bad?
Yeah.
Who's bad?
Who's the bigger sociopath?
And Cat's like perfect Cat 5 night of TV. Definitely check it out for that hot bonus content. For that hot content. And as always, girl, as always,
bye!
Watch the skies for the evil killer robot, because he just may be after you for being naughty. And don't be naughty, be nice.